Greetings everyone, it's IT2, and this will probably be my last video of 2023 that is not book related. I do have a lot of book videos probably going to cram in here in the last 3 days. Actually, I got a book haul coming up. I got to do some changes to my TBR. I got to do a review of Holly that I'm reading right now. I got to do books 2024 that are coming out that I'm looking forward to. So it's like probably a bunch of book videos are about to come out. But this is not clickbait. Today I am going to talk about World of Warcraft just a little bit because there's something that I just thought of today. We were at work, we were talking about how today it's so cold, there's black ice on the roads. I'm like thinking how... It kind of reminds me of something in Warcraft that's counterintuitive. And it's similar to Rocket League in that there's something about Rocket League that people... It's like a 3v3 car game where you play soccer, if you don't know what Rocket League is. And your mind basically thinks you're supposed to have one guy on the goal and two guys attacking. And so it's like then when one guy stops the attack, he rotates. The guy on defense goes to offense, and then they change places. It's kind of like volleyball in that sense. So when people talk about rotating, that's what they mean, like changing the goalie. And then there's this thing where you can do a three-man offense, like everybody attacks. They call that kind of like ball chasing. If the guy just always goes after the ball instead of playing defense, he won't rotate. They call that a ball chaser. People always call me a ball chaser because I would try to do both things at once. And what people don't get is because it's counterintuitive. Like if you're playing normally and you get scored on, so now the score is 0-1, so now you're losing. Everybody thinks, well, we just got scored on. Our problem must be that our defense is lacking, so we need to get more defensive. That's not true. Because mathematically, if you're losing and you're defending a loss, you're not going to win. Because that's how it works. If you keep defending, you're never going to score because they're just going to keep attacking. You may not get scored on again, but you're going to lose 0-1. So you got to switch. You got to play three-man offense to overpower the other team and score goals until you get like 2-1 or like a lead on them, and then you defend the lead. Then you start playing normal rotations and playing defensive. So a lot of people disagree with me on that. And I'll see a little white glow right here. This is a little cap that my camera is sitting on. Maybe I can... There we go. We fixed it. Oh, by the way, I have a new camera that my friend Haval at work got me. He gave me this whole bag of like Christmas presents. It's like kind of cheap stuff. So this is not the best camera. Well, let's have a look at it. hey, look at this. Look at all this snow everywhere. It's like Christmas. It's probably like a $15 webcam. But there's also my other bookshelf over there you never see. These are all... Here's my Harry Potters. Here's my Rick Riordan's right here. Here's the R.A. Salvatore's right here. Like, I got all these, like, Dean Koontz's right here, Anne Rice is down there, and Jim Butcher's up there. I got all these books everywhere. There's some behind me, there's some over there that's going to be in the thing. Anyway, it'd be good if you made, like, an alien video or something, like a security cam. If I wanted, like, well, if I was making a movie, this would be a good camera to, like, give it automatic shitty camera effects, because it is a shitty camera. Anyway, I was talking about Warcraft. How does Warcraft relate to driving a car? When you do groups and raids and whatever, and you're rolling on loot, there's a need for greed system. And I don't know why every guild I was ever in, they always did it wrong, and I always had to explain to them the logic behind. Like rolling for normal items is fine. If you need something, you roll need. If you don't need it, you roll greed, because then it's just going to be disenchanted or sold or something, so everybody can roll on it. So when you do that with normal items, everybody thinks, oh, well, if everybody needs something, or everybody wants something, they roll greed. But if it's for your class, then you roll need. But then you got things that are like those weird things you get in Zul'Gurub, like things that everybody needs, not really quest items, but like materials that you craft with, that everybody crafts with. Not specific classes that do, like, if you're a tailor, there's certain things that only tailors would need. But there's something like bags. Let's say you get a bag. Everybody's going to want that bag. Everybody needs that bag. So everybody would always say, well, just roll greed on it. I'm like, no, you idiot. That's not how it works. Everybody needs it. Everybody rolls need. Because they're not thinking of it as like, greed is down here, need is up here. So if everybody rolls greed, if somebody wanted to cheat the system, they just roll need and they just override everybody. It's like an overriding thing. And you can get cheated that way. So what you want to do is act as if people are going to try to cheat you. And then you'll never get cheated. So if everybody rolls need on stuff like bags and mats that anybody could use and everybody needs, then you can't get cheated because need is the highest level of rolling. If everybody rolls the lowest level, then somebody just steps over top of them and they steal it. It's stupid. But that's how every guild, I don't know if they still do that, but that's how they all work need or greed systems. But it's obviously wrong. It's counterintuitive. Well, it's not really. I don't know if that's something from like EverQuest that held over. That's how everybody did it in EverQuest. But like, I'm right about this, right? You always roll need if it's something everybody needs. Otherwise, you can get stolen. This way, you can't get stolen. There's all these like sayings like act as if. Act as if somebody's going to rob you. Then you're playing defensive. It's like defensive driving. If you're always on the lookout for somebody raping you, you're probably not going to get raped because you're going to catch it in time. Act as if a tiger is waiting to kill you and you're going to survive the jungle because you're on the lookout, let's say. Assuming the worst is another saying. Trust but verify is another saying. A liar has to remember his lies. If you always tell the truth, you never have to remember what you said because you just remember what you actually said. You don't have to remember what the lie was. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. I don't really think that has anything to do with what I'm talking about. But anyway, the same thing applies to driving. Because if you're defensive driving and you're looking out for people that are doing stupid shit like running red lights, then you're acting as if everybody's an idiot and you're going to drive safer. Same thing like today, there's black ice on the roads. So I was driving in a way that I just assumed there's black ice everywhere. Because if I'm driving as careful as I needed to be in the first place, then I'm never going to hit black ice. It's never going to spin me out. Never slamming on my brakes at random times, for example. Or if it's like icy and snowy and you know the ground is bad, you're going to drive safe the whole time. It's those in-between times when it's like, it looks safe, but it's not. Like it's cold, but it just turned cold and it maybe rained last night and you were asleep. You didn't know it rained. You didn't know it just rained and you didn't know there's anything. Bam, you slide around, you smack somebody and you die. This is good advice. A lot of you could probably, it might save your life. You could die this winter if you're not paying attention to T2's WoW videos. Also, the same thing applies to like headlights. People always, they worry about hitting their brights and like bright lighting somebody or bright lighting a cop and then a cop pulls you over, like going from your dims to your brights. What do you call that? Fog lights? Some people call them dimmers. The dimmer switch. I just always drive with my dim lights on. I never use the brights. That way I never have to worry about it. I never have to switch. I just don't need to see really far in front of me. I mean, it's probably, if you're in a populated area with deer, that you ever worry about deer, then maybe put your brights on. But like, another thing is like when you get your driver's license and they give you all these questions about drinking. Like I never drank alcohol the whole like until I was 43. So like none of this applies to me. It's just, I don't have to worry about it because I'm acting as if I'm gonna die in a car. I don't know what I was acting as if, but like if you always play to the highest level of safety, you play defensive, like rolling need instead of greed, then you're going to have less problems, less things to worry about, and it just makes your life easier. I felt like there was another car example I forgot of. I was writing things down, but I mean, it applies to everything. Just play it safe, play defensive, always assume the worst. What's that other saying? There's another saying I forgot too. If you always assume the worst, expect the best, expect the worst, hope for the best. That's what it is. Expect the worst, hope for the best. That's my Christmas message to everyone.